starting up the
I
stream.
was gonna say, I hear it with that voice now every time.
Oh god. So, hello ladies and gentlemen, Zeke here. We are back to Star Wars Edge of the Empire, Relics of a Time Past. Sorry for the late. That was me entirely. I'm not sure if I made mention of this, but my phone died. Like, I think it overheated or something and it just fried. I couldn't get it past the startup screen. I couldn't even do a factory reset, so that's kind of what I'm going with. So I've lost all my data. I spent a while up at a phone store getting everything, trying to save what I could, and getting a new phone. I didn't think it'd take as long, but yeah, it did.
Sounds like a phony excuse to me, Zeke.
So nice of you to call him out on it.
So, looks like the Destiny poll is pretty even today.
And new and fancy with improved
yeah, who did the cleanup?
bag.
That would be Jonas.
Take a bow.
Okay, so I guess it's already built, but I don't see half the stuff on there.
As far as the map, yeah, nothing's been done there. I don't know how to operate that right now, so that's entirely your territory.
Lance also set us back 2 episodes, so it may not be built the same.
This is we had that issue where I loaded the wrong one last week, so this is the one from 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So you guys are around in here. You know, while I set this up, let's go ahead and do the recap. Desric, you said you had it?
Yes. Yes, I do. All right. 1 moment, please. Captain's log. Date 6/13/19. Have you ever needed to remember something that you desperately want to forget? I find myself wondering what power I have crossed to land in this predicament. After being released from Imperial custody, I set out to find Jade. According to the captain, Jade is the infamous terrorist the Empire is hunting down, not Illy or Rose. I was almost ready to apologize to Rose for treating her with such suspicion. That was until I received her welcome back greeting. I suppose a hug and a kiss would have been out of character. Personally, I would have been happy with an "Are you okay?" But no, not my Rose. She is no delicate flower. Her greeting of choice for the tortured teammate? More pain. She used that damn talent of hers to slam the first door I walked through into my face. Nearly broke my nose. Seriously, Rose, what the hell? I mean, even Illy showed remarkably little concern for my well-being. Last time they saw me, I was unconscious and being dragged away by stormtroopers. And yet, no "Are you okay?" No questions if I am hurt or injured, just straight to the questions. Where have you been? How did you escape? What do you mean they let you go? I mean, I admit, the medics on the ISD patched me up pretty well. Very little signs of trauma, at least not physically. And yet, even after Doc scanned me and they realized I had been tortured, not a single word of apology, sympathy, or remorse. They left me, damn it! And only Jerry even had the decency to try and find me and get me back. Do I mean so little to them? No. Stow that shit, Desric. It's just in your head. Focus on the mission. Breathe. Jade was dead before I even got to her, killed viciously and slowly by the state of her body. Of course, Rose's efforts didn't help in that regard. I know the woman has rage issues, but shooting a corpse? Have some decency. So uncivilized. Rose seems to think that Maris Lucis, the blue-skinned thief from Terrace, killed her and stole the artifact. The note we found on her body seems to confirm that. He wants to meet, but after the mess he made of Jade, I have lost any interest in dealing with him or his little gang. Vengeance, I think he called it? No. If we ever recover that artifact, it goes straight to the rebellion and frag the consequences. That damn thing is too dangerous to give to the sycophants who torture and maim a person like that. And that goes double for the Empire. Speaking of messages, Jade left us one of her own, written in her own blood. Tell Nate, code Tristan. A chilling scene, the whole lot of it. We did our best to search for clues, but we're no detectives. In the end, I called the captain for help and requested that he scan the area Rose thought the murderer had fled to. But the ISD scanners couldn't cut through the foliage and the interference. If we want to find this artifact, we may have to contact Maris after all. Before we left, I covered Jade's body with a quilt. Didn't seem right to leave her there, but in the end, it's all I could do. Whatever she was, I don't think she was the terrorist the captain made her out to be. Surely, she didn't deserve to die like this. Somehow I feel responsible for her. Like my anger and hate at her for stealing the artifact caused this. So much anger. So much suffering. Focus, Desert, focus. Breathe. We returned to the ship. Illy told Nate she had a message for him. Tristan, she said. Nate seemed unfazed. Until, that is, Leo corrected her. Code Tristan. And just like that, everything went to shit. Immediately, Nate remembers something and marches off to the bridge on a suicide mission to crash the ship into a space station. We're given 5 minutes to collect our things and get off the ship or die with the droid. Illy tried to talk Nate out of it, and Leo started to insist the droid had the right to end his own existence. I didn't hang around to listen. I started grabbing all I could and ran. It wasn't until after the ramp had closed that we realized Doc was still aboard. He'd gone into the escape pod and he had converted into a makeshift medroom. Thank the stars he chose the escape pod. He jettisoned the pod as the ship climbed into Atmo, crashing the pod a few hundred meters away. We rushed to the crash site to check on Doc. I couldn't imagine what we were going to find. Pith is so high-strung I thought for sure he'd be having a nervous breakdown by the time we arrived. What we found instead was a gleeful Thorian hopped up on stims and adrenaline. The Doc actually seemed to be enjoying himself. Well, that was until Rose decided she had had enough of the neurotic alien and sent him flying through the air with her talents. That scared Pith senseless. Now the poor bastard is convinced she miniaturized a tractor beam. It would have all been rather entertaining if it wasn't for the fact that we are once again trapped on a planet with no way off. Damn it, not again! I can still hear the screaming echoing through my head. My screams. Where am I? It's so dark. There's only darkness. End log.
Very well done. I love it.
Quite well. And everyone's just quiet.
Just shrug is all I get from Rose.
The answer to that is yes.
Oh, man. And the ending part was quite nice. Either way, as per agreement, Desric, your obligation is on. So everyone take a strain. Desric will take 2. What was that, Jonas?
Yeah, I was just about to ask whether we. Oof. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what my strain is at currently, but I know it's lower than this.
Oh,
6?
yeah. I'm going to reset mine because I got medical treatment on the ship, so I'm just going to assume it's straight 2. And I wasn't in combat, and I don't think I took any rolls or strain on the previous episode.
Yep, you're completely reset, save for the current obligation.
Alright, so strain goes back down, or because I'm on 11 out of 14. That's a lot.
I don't remember where yours was, honestly.
Well, we haven't slept, so I'm not going to change it.
Okay. So, Ellie, you good as well?
Yeah. Ellie's is set up where she should be. She hasn't slept. She still has that wound, so her strain is pretty high.
And the crit.
And the crit's still there, yeah.
Man, that's a bad crit.
Yep.
Okay, so last we left off, I believe everyone was loading into the new transport Jared brought. He is by himself this time.
Yeah, he had asked what the hell happened and where the ship went, essentially.
I thought Jared's speeder was just a 2-person speeder. I thought he was going to load into our skiff.
Okay.
As I recall, Jared was actually on foot. He said that he was going to be a bit getting to where we were.
Yeah,
but
he got a ride.
Yeah, he got a ride, and he had. You described it as the same speeder that Luke had on Tatooine, a 2-person.
Okay, yeah, so he got dropped off. All right. I was actually watching that on my way to work on day, so I can, take in everything and remember it. But phone died. Couldn't actually, So you guys get loaded up. Everyone's in the skiff. Who's driving? Des?
Yeah, I'll drive.
Okay. Conversations, where to, all that. Start.
I guess we need to figure out where we're going to go. Who do we trust?
Jer, I don't suppose you have any decent hiding places?
Well, we can either go back to the base camp you met me at, or that we went to, or we can go back to my main base.
Well, it looks like Illy's in pretty rough shape, needs some more medical attention.
It doesn't matter right now. We need to get that artifact, and the longer we delay.
Unfortunately, there is a reason to delay. At least going to your main base.
I will need some place calm and sterile so I can treat Illy's wounds.
True. However, we do know that Desric was under or unconscious during his time being treated.
Oh, I fully intend to check him out completely, but like I said, I need about the same for him as well.
Right, but assuming that they implanted something on his body that we did not find, we could be taking him directly to a rebel base.
True, but in order to find out if he has anything, I would have to completely dissect him. That was quite a thorough scan. I don't think he'll like that.
No. And Leo, thanks for the vote of trust.
It is not about trust. Well, I suppose it's a matter of trust in regards to the Empire wanting to know where a rebel base is.
Yeah, they don't even seem to know he's here. They didn't ask a single question about him. Or you, for that matter.
Why would they ask about me? I am just a droid.
Exactly. Look, there are some things they don't know and they don't care about. The artifact they do care about. And well, I do see Illy's point. Illy, I don't think you're in much position to keep going. You're going to collapse any minute here. And I'm still not sure if I'm okay. We really ought to have Doc have a look at us.
That much I can agree on.
Then let's make it as quick as possible, all right?
Fair enough.
Jay, I don't suppose you have a ship at this base of yours.
Ship? No. We gotta wait for it to come in. This was a drop off. Do a deal in private. Wait for pickup.
Do you know
I
when they're
suppose-
showing up?
2 days.
God damn it.
Yeah, that's not very helpful. Well, Mares seems to want to meet us, so we can contact him. There's one other alternative to the to the rebel base.
What, meet with him?
No, the cave.
The Imperials know about that cave.
Yes, and they know about just about all of us. I'm just laying out our options. It'd be quiet, and they wouldn't be, at least be able to detect us on sensors. But you can probably be sure that they're guarding it. Unless...
Yeah, they're most definitely guarding that place. Or at least have it under sensors.
There's no reason they wouldn't, and they followed us there once. The cave isn't an option.
Then it looks like we're left with the camp.
Like I said, we can go to the setup camp instead of the main base. That would...
What facilities do you have at the setup base?
Just basic. We got a tent for you to sleep in. We could pop up a tent real quick, use it as a medical facility, but there's not much better even at our base. This really wasn't meant to be used as that level of base. We weren't expecting, you know, anything more than a rabble of smugglers.
Yeah, and ISD tends to complicate things.
A lot.
Doc, can you make a tent work?
Yes, if I can get some help setting up a table. I'll
You'll
help you
have
with
it.
that.
Alright, the campsite it is then. That's at least a little less danger to Jer and company.
Well, what about this artifact? And this Mares, you keep calling him.
It's possible he has it. But he left a message for us to get in touch with him. Last we saw him, he was on terrace trying to steal the artifact out from under us.
So he has it. He's been trying to steal it. He currently has it, and he wants to talk?
That's the part that doesn't make sense. I mean, why would he do what he did to Jade if she had what he wanted? I'm not sure what his angle is yet.
No, but I'm guessing it has something to do with Rose. That artifact affected her way more than it did the rest of us.
I can hear you.
Sorry, Rose. I didn't mean to be insensitive, but
You know,
You
speaking
know what I mean.
of Rose, the cave, the head floating back, they don't tend to do that once severed. And we've got a good ride down to the camp. Let's talk.
Desert's
Yeah,
just going to look at
maybe.
Rose.
None of your concern.
I didn't hear what you said, Tuff.
I said, yeah, the whole head thing, yeah, that's none of your concern.
Judging from what I know about the matter, it might be better that you do not know.
If that's how you want to do it. All I'm saying is that could be useful for more than just that. Your call, though. He starts up. Wrong button.
Dang it. Every time we get on that skiff.
There better not be any stormtroopers hiding in a bush waiting to stun me is all I have to say.
Okay. Right button. So he starts it up, and you guys are traveling to the base, or the camp. Any conversations going on, or we want to call what just happened the conversation?
Oh, actually, there is something that I would need to mention.
Roger.
Desric,
Yes, Leo?
you said before that the captain has an incredible amount of authority.
Yeah, I tried to bluff my way out of the situation by calling on a Moth. Apparently, this guy can override the Moth's authority.
Wait, how does a captain override a Moth?
That's what I'm saying.
Could have been lying.
And why would he need to lie? In that situation, he had all the power.
He didn't strike me as someone interested in deception. He's used to having complete and total authority.
So, in other words, you feel like he was just laying down the weight of the situation?
Yeah, he made it pretty clear that this wasn't a negotiation. He was dictating
Okay.
terms.
Can I roll a knowledge warfare to figure out whether I know the way around the ranking systems?
Well, considering I can't think of anything better to know for you, like Imperial stuff. Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, the other one I would have done if it wasn't warfare would have been a core
Oh,
lore.
look at that. 1 triumph and 2 success.
Well, considering that this is
Nice.
not exactly commonplace and definitely knowledge, it's going to be a difficult roll, okay?
Well, yeah, I'm more or less just saying that.
No, I was just letting you know.
Yeah.
And what was the total?
1 triumph and 2 success.
So 301.
Yeah.
Oh, what can I do with 3 threat? Especially that you have that triumph.
I could give a strain.
In this case, you're just racking your memory. I don't see strain being a thing.
My memory is faulty.
That is true. So you'll take a couple strain, and the final one, the memory is going to come in a very odd order, which take it as you will. I'll be giving to you in that. Your triumph, you did succeed. Your triumph is going to allow you to get all the information.
Okay.
Screw giving it to you out of order. That would just be too difficult. There are very few things that can override a Moth that a captain can do. He'd have to be under direct authority of the admiral, and the admiral would have to be in direct contact with that Moth or a Grand Moff. The other way is obviously Vader, and then finally is the Emperor. So Grand Admiral, Grand Moff, Vader, and Palpatine.
Okay, so yes, Leo is wrecking his memory circuit. And
Though, how wide is Vader known as an enforcer? Pretty wide?
everybody knows who Vader is.
Okay.
Because he probably appears on a lot of the propaganda posters across the galaxy.
Yeah, just we don't know who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. He shows up
Or
in a
what
system and
he
the
is.
entire system surrenders. So he's pretty well known.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also because he's showing up in an executioner.
Well, yeah. Like when you're thinking about like Emperor Palpatine, he has the right hand and the left hand. The right hand is Vader. The left hand is Tarkin.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah,
Well,
was.
But don't confuse that with the hands, the Emperor's hands, because the Emperor's hands are other
Yes,
people.
I know. They're the
Yeah.
cloak and dagger.
So yeah, he is going. Okay, so
Out of curiosity, who would be the left hand right now? Thrawn?
no, Thrawn is well, no, Thrawn is an admiral. He was never a Moff. It would have to be another Grand Moff, and there was a lot of Grand Moffs.
Okay.
Just Tarkin was the most senior and most trusted. But yeah,
Palpatine loved him.
Leo. Well, I wouldn't say loved him.
You
got
get the
along.
idea.
Yeah. But yes, Leo is going to go. Unless the Moff was lying, he is likely to be under the authority of somebody higher than the Moff. Either a Grand Moff or one of the leaders of the Imperials, be it a Grand General, Admiral, or anything else. And the anything else includes certain things that we do not want to touch.
And unfortunately, the rebellion has to. It's probably going to be hard, Desric, but can you rack your brain? See if you can't remember anything else? As much detail as possible?
Tried that earlier. Let's have Doc look at me first.
Alright.
Desert kind of shudders and just looks inward.
Leo is turning his head to look at Rose. You know, Rose, it stands to reason that if this man truly has the authority that he seems to hint, the rebellion will likely have a large bounty on his head.
I'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, not my department, so...
I imagine that would probably be under Rebel command.
yeah. Either way, we have arrived, so...
Okay, I was gonna say Ellie was gonna suggest that Desert get some rest, but if we're already pulling in there, then never mind.
You weren't that far, maybe 10 minutes.
Alright.
Alright, so everyone is hopping out of the speeder. I'm moving it over here. Probably would have been easier if I just locked the card and dragged.
Yeah, or just shake the card and get everybody off. Seems to work most of the time.
Except I'm not trying to shake the card.
Oh, Leo's looking over at Jer, and he goes, I would advise you have some of your mechanics look over that skiff. I did what I could, but it's still in pretty heavy damage.
The system should be fried on it, but I'll get my guys to work on it. I don't actually remember what the damage was. It was just ion damage anyways.
A few nicks, dents, and scratches that weren't there before.
Oh,
Totally not our
those can be
fault.
buffed out.
Yeah, I mean, we hit a couple of trees.
Oh yeah, the trees. All right.
Yeah.
So you guys get in there. He calls one of the guys over. There's only like 4 here, and he says we need to make a makeshift tent for a med facility. And they get to setting up a tent and a table, and Pith is over there working with him. One of them comes up to you guys. It's like, say, we have some food if you guys are hungry. Not the greatest, but something.
Better than rations, I suspect.
That's a matter of opinion. This is what we could find.
No thanks. I don't feel like eating.
Tazric, get some food.
May not taste good, but it's nutritious.
Come on, let's go.
Alright. And he gets around a little makeshift camp with a... It's got a... like cooking pot, cooking station and all that, and there's some benches and some chairs nearby. He starts heating it up, stirring it around. It's definitely a stew. It does not smell good. Not horrid, but it's just like, well, I am hungry, kind of feel. And not too long over, he sets some plates down and fills them up. Again, not tasty, but it's good for you.
Ellie will do her best to cope.
Desric will stir it around and pretend, for Illy's sake, to have eaten some.
Pretty familiar with that trick, Desric.
Oh, please tell me I can make a deception roll for this.
Yeah, he could make a deception.
Try
roll.
it.
But that would be based on Illy's perception, I believe.
Yeah, great.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not exactly
I
a conversation here.
True.
Oh, actually,
yeah.
would that be deception or would that be stealth from Desric?
What's he
Yeah,
trying to do?
Feign eating.
Ooh, I like
Don't
stealth
worry.
better.
That's
More
deception,
deception.
Yeah, deception. And would that be
I-
based...
I
Hold
don't
on.
suppose...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
And for Illy, her counter would be, you think, perception, or would that be something else?
yeah.
Maybe your perception, maybe vigilance.
That or even cool. And I can't make heads or tails of your sheet right now. I have to go up like 2 things.
So, since I'm making a deception check and I have convincing demeanor, I would normally remove a setback. Can I use that to add a boost instead, since I'm not opposed an NPC?
Yeah, that would work.
Are we going with vigilance or perception or something else?
What do you guys think?
Oh, 1 second.
This is like slightly different than a conversation, and that's where all the counters and are is just for conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, you could call this a conversation, technically.
Yeah, but it's almost kind of sleight of hand on Desric's part. He's not really saying anything. He's just
Well,
trying
if it's sleight
to...
of hand, that would be skullduggery.
Theoretically, if the amount of stew hasn't changed,
It's-
that's a thing.
It's discipline.
That's if you're
yeah,
using
for
the
deception.
conversation. Yeah. They said it's if it's a
Yeah.
conversation thing.
Well,
Discipline works
coercion-
too.
For coercion, deception, and leadership, it's discipline. For charm and negotiation, it's cool.
Is there an oppose for skullduggery? I mean, my talents apply to both, but...
Perception. Or vigilance.
It's social. Is what that comes from.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think I keep my roll as a deception.
Yeah, let's call it deception versus discipline.
Okay, so I rolled my deception, and it's 2.3.
I would say Illy should take a boost for being a mother.
Oh,
okay,
damn, I'm totally gonna get caught.
I don't think she needs.
I can grab a boost if need be.
3-1.
Yeah, no.
Don't think you need it.
I totally got busted. So Desric will begrudgingly eat some of it. He doesn't really taste it.
But I say you don't. It doesn't taste good, but. And people are yelling in the background. I have no idea if you can hear it.
A little bit.
Like I said, it doesn't taste good. Whether you taste it or not is your choice. But as everyone eats it, stop yelling, people. It gets in your stomach. It gets around. It's soupy, really soupy, and even the bits are chopped up really fine. It's getting absorbed real quickly. You're starting to feel better. Not just a full stomach, but what this is, the nutrients going into your system.
Well, that's right. Not exactly tasty, but it certainly hits the spot.
Desric says nothing.
Yeah, it keeps us active. So everyone for a while will get a boost to their vigilance.
Oh, this camp. Is it in like a crevice or a cave, or I assume it's not out in the open?
It's actually out in the open, but there are tarps above it that act like camouflage for anything above.
Okay. Okay.
And that is some water behind you. Basically, what it allows them to do is they do have barricades to make a defensive stand here, but there's no place to hide for anyone coming through. So it's,
Okay.
it's just kind of like a forward base, a forward little camp.
Yeah. Leo is sort of looking at it like this. I don't know who located them here. But this isn't where I would have put this camp.
The Twilight says it's just something forward to go to meet up, gear up, and get out. Also, since it's more open, they'll think this is our main camp if we have anyone actually coming after us. Secondly, there's no place to hide. So there's no way anyone could, eavesdrop. And if we are attacked, we do have some defenses here, and they don't. So
I will strongly disagree. This seems a pretty vulnerable location. However, I will have to defer to your judgment in this case.
again, it's to make them come here instead of at the main base. So I'm gonna go see how they're doing on the tent. I'll be right back. When he walks off. If there's no conversation, they're coming back.
Desric just mouths to Leo. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
I'm not. I didn't say that because of our safety, more theirs.
Desric just shrugs.
But assuming that I am not needed, and I can pretty much safely assume this, I'm going to shut down for a few hours.
All right. Do you mind if I get some repairs taken care of? Assuming I'm feeling well enough to do so before you wake up.
Repairs on.
Well, you if needed.
I do not require repairs. I may be a little scratched and dented, but I should be fine.
All right. What's on your mind, Desric?
Desric's just kind of staring out into space. Huh? Nothing.
That's a lie. What's going on?
I can't explain it really. There's a cloud. Shadow, maybe? I don't know. Darkness. And I can't see past it.
It's just starting to sound a little like Rose.
That's a scary thought. Then Desert quickly looks around to see if Rose is nearby, or at least within punching distance.
I don't know. If you guys have left the table, then no.
Yeah, Desert's probably wandering.
We'll be able to get some rest in short order. It's just you make the most of it. All right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be sleeping anytime soon.
Pith does his usual thing. You won't have a choice, will you?
Yeah, not a big fan of needles right now, Lily.
While I understand that, try to remember that Pith has your best interests at heart, whereas the last people you dealt with
Yeah,
using
you
such
don't need to
tools-
remind me.
All right.
And Desert just kind of walks off.
In which direction? Into the camp?
Yeah, any direction that's just away from the noise. Not like out away from camp on his own, just he's looking for someplace quiet.
Okay. Well, not long after that, Jer and Pith come back. Okay, so we've got the tent up. It's ready. Who's first?
Let's get Desric looked after first, all right?
Stop playing hero. You're obviously wounded. Whatever's wrong with me, it's in my head.
My injuries are obvious. Yours could be less so. You should be looked at first.
I'm going to agree with Eliana here, Desric. If you were tortured, we need to look at you.
Desric is not happy about this, but doesn't say anything outwardly. It's basically nonverbal. Fine. And he starts to walk. After, I guess I'm following Pith at this point.
Yeah, he takes you to the tent. He asks you to lay down. He closes the drape. He asks you to take your shirt off.
Desert does so. Not comfortably.
Pith begins to grab some equipment and again scans you. This time
None of that equipment looks machine-like. Like the nothing reminds Desert of.
It doesn't look anything like that, but it's obviously a machine, like some data pads and I think that specifically for medical purposes.
Yeah. Just so I think any needles, knives, or anything that looks invasive, Desert's gonna have to make a discipline check.
All right, he hasn't brought those out just yet. At this point, it's more just kind of scanning and the outward stuff. He's being thorough and compared to last time.
Got it.
After a little while, he states, "Well, I'm getting about the same results from last time. I'm not detecting any, well, probes or scanners or trackers in you. I still see signs that something's happened to you specifically. I really need to take a look at your leg. It's been patched up really good, but it seems to have a lot of scarring damage all the way to the bone."
Desric just shudders.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to drop your pants in this area so I can get to your leg.
Again, not comfortable, but does so.
At this point, he does come back. It's with a new instrument. It's not sharp. It's nothing like that, but it is. Looks like a long probe, and you will be making a discipline check.
Yay! Okay. And my discipline talents are terrible.
Make a good roll. Make a good roll.
It's probably be more entertaining if I don't. That's not terrible given the pool. 2.1.
Okay. You're not panicking, but something flares inside of you. Your anxiety's kicking up. You're beginning to breathe relatively hard. And it's hard to calm yourself, but you are now very alert. You still see it's just a normal medical scanner, and you're not sure why you are breathing heavily, but you're going to take 2 strain.
Okay. What are you planning to do with that, Doc?
It's just going to go where the scar tissue is. It's going to measure approximately what happened.
That's not going inside me, right?
No. It'll have a slight burn, but that's just the sensor.
Just get it over with.
And he presses up against your leg. He actually presses it up with some force. You do feel the burning sensation he's talking about. It's very, very mild. It's just something warmer than, usual. Clicks, 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 beeps, beeps. It's kind of going crazy. Hold on. So roll a cool check real quick.
Okay, hold on a second. It's present. Okay. Well, shit. 5 success.
Okay, so
Nice.
you do manage to keep calm. The feeling of whatever is making you anxious hasn't come back. You don't know what it is, but you are starting to kind of squirm a little. Desric, I need you to hold still.
How much longer is this going to take, Doc?
About a minute.
Breathe, Desric.
So, a minute goes by, pressure releases, and he walks over, connects it to a data pad, and a bunch of readings pop out. He sets that down, and what is he bringing over? I can't remember what it was. We'll just skip past that because I can't even remember what the hell that thing was. It's nothing that'll set off anything anyways. He just kind of begins examining, your shoulder, and a few other places, he does make the statement that it does look like something here had burned you. He's trying to determine what it was. He's got this little device. It looks kind of like sandpaper almost, and he wipes it over your skin in that area, and it goes into a little jar. You don't really feel much, just something wiping over you. He goes back, sets them in the jar, puts them in this little area, starts dropping some chemicals on them, goes back over to the data pad, picks it up. You see him reading over it. Where are you paying attention to right now?
Well, assuming that he's done messing with my legs, I've kind of pulled my pants back up and I'm sitting on the table just observing.
Him?
Yeah.
Alright, so his eyes are just kind of narrow slits. He's focusing, he's reading. And the further down he goes, his eyes begin to go wider and wider and wider. And they're almost completely open right now. Just like beyond what you expected an Ithorian can do.
Doc, say something. You're making me really nervous.
Oh, it's nothing at all.
That doesn't look like nothing.
Okay, let's just put it this way. Now you're fine. You don't want to know what these things are. Just know that you're fine now. That is truth.
You're not exactly filling me with confidence, Doc.
It's what they did that's surprising. That's what's freaking me out a bit. Like I said, whatever doctor they had go over you is very good. They fixed a lot of the damage. As I said, you are fine. It's just the level of barbarism here. Trust me, you
Desert
don't
kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I didn't.
You don't actually remember?
I remember. Do I need to make a check?
Yes.
Or just
intelligence.
Okay.
Trying to determine whether you get a boost or anything. Yeah. Right now, this stuff is flowing through your head a little bit more because of the situation, so take a boost.
Well, that was useful. 2-2.
Again, you remember the Imperial person coming up to you, a lieutenant, with a weird... his uniform was darker than usual, but his rank pendant on his chest, it still says lieutenant, but it had a lot of pips on there that you did not recognize. You do remember a weird droid. You do remember being lowered to a table and it being raised to you. Beyond that, everything is very hazy, very staticky, and a shadow just keeps glossing over.
I assume I still remember the pain and the screaming.
Yeah, that's getting to a slight haunt at this point, but you don't remember as much as you would if you were asleep.
I remember the lieutenant. At least I think he was lieutenant. Droid. The damn machine. It lowered me and raised up to me at the same time. And then it's hazy, like a shadow. But they're screaming. I'm screaming. And there's pain. Blinding pain. Desert's looking really flush and breathing very heavily.
Yeah, let's focus on something else for right now. If you'd like, I can give you something to help block out the memories for now.
I don't know if that's a good idea. I feel like there was something important.
Nothing I can do to help you remember, unfortunately. Forgetting is far easier. But I'm afraid I need to do one more test. I need you to lay back down and look to your right. And he's on your left side.
Desric will comply.
Okay. You're going to feel a slight sting. Just breathe.
Just get it over with.
You feel a sting. He's obviously taking blood, so you know where it's at. Roll another discipline check.
Oh boy. Ooh, 1-1.
Okay. You immediately, in your mind, you feel multiple things protruding through your skin. Some of them are just tearing flesh all the way to the bone. Other ones seem to be injecting fire into you. You feel the electric burns. Take another strain.
Okay.
In
I
other
don't want to
words,
blast
you
everyone's eardrums, but Desert screams, like, really loudly.
fail. Does he jump, jolt, what?
Yeah, he pulls away.
Like, you're laying on the table that's big enough just to hold you. You pull. How you pulling away? Because I'm trying to.
Like jumping away from the needle, or wherever he feels that the pain is coming from.
So you're jumping to the right. You're coming off the table. Do you remember that you're on a table?
Probably not.
Coordination.
Ellie's rushing in. She's able to hear the scream.
Everyone
I'm pretty sure
hears it,
everyone in the
everyone's
camp heard the
rushing.
scream.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Rose is not phased. She doesn't really care. She's heard it before.
This one's very blood curdling, though.
Yeah, I don't think Desert's ever screamed like this in front of Rose.
In front of
Holy
anyone.
cow! Apparently, I'm very coordinated in my screaming. That would be a 4.1.
Shit. Funny thing is, I rolled a 3-1.
Nice.
So, you land on your feet. I wish people would shut up out there. You land on your feet. At this point, both reality and memory are beginning to phase. You're seeing both overshadowing each other. But there's one thing you do know. You're not strapped to a table.
I want to run.
Well, here's the thing. You see the Imperial. He has that sadistic grin on his face, and you do see some floating droid quickly coming after you.
Yep, no, I want to run.
All right, before everyone gets to the tent, Desric is bursting out of there.
Yeah, he hasn't put his shirt back on. He's got his pants on at least, but
Desric, what's wrong?
yeah, he doesn't hear you.
Yeah, I think
Desric?
Rose just kind of just stops him. I think Rose just puts her hand out and then just like moves him back into the room, just like in the air while he's still air running.
So Desric's obviously going to resist.
Okay, I did
Oh.
not hear you. They came in. What?
I guess Rose is going to attempt to tackle and wrestle me back into the tent, and
You said I
Desric
was
is resisting.
tackling you.
Okay, you're using the force then?
Yes.
What's your
Well,
range?
son of a.
It depends on how close like the dining area is, and
It's a distance.
okay, well I was already on my way apparently, so
I thought you
What,
said you
maybe
were still sitting
medium?
at the table.
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
move. You don't care. Heartless Rose.
oh, okay. Well, I'm not moving, so I'm still at the table. Then that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
So he
Ellie's
busts
trying
out
to
and
get his
he's
thing.
heading.
He hasn't a clue where he's heading. He's just running as fast
Okay,
as he can.
so Rose is right there. The tent's over here. Desert's running this way.
Ellie is running after him.
So Rose, he's too far for you, I do believe.
Desric, stop.
And those who are chasing and Desric, roll athletics.
Lovely.
Also, I have shortcut, which during a chase adds 1 bonus to shortcut checks to catch or escape an opponent. So
I believe that would work if you're in an once you get to the woods and there's like a, or like you're in a town or something where there are other paths to take. I would call that a yay. But in an open field,
okay, but there's no. All right, fair
you're
enough.
in an open field right now. What's the shortcut?
Fair enough. Okay, so just straight coordination.
Athletics.
Oh, dang it!
Ellie is 2 success.
To success.
Damn it.
Okay.
So I'm not getting away, but you're not gaining on me either.
Well, Ellie, you're in a dead sprint. Desric's in a dead sprint. You both seem about as fast as each other. Ellie, you do see something just bolt past you in a crazy run position. It's just, you don't understand how it's working. It's just working. And you realize it's a green Twi'lek. And it's wearing Jer's, fatigues. You're assuming it's him. And he's just flying past you.
Oh crap! I forgot I made him fast.
Oh crap, I completely forgot he had his own dice pool. I just kind of threw some. Okay, so let me go in and actually see what his dice pool is. No, you did not make him fast. I actually rolled 1 more green than he had.
Oh, okay.
Ellie tearing off after him. How much
So
strain?
what did everyone roll?
Oh yeah,
Ellie-
his athletics are the same as mine.
Yes, what did everyone roll?
Ellie rolled 2 success.
2 success.
Yeah, he rolled a 2-1, so he's not doing that dead sprint past you, but he is gaining on Desric, whereas you can't seem to get any further. This chase goes for a while. Desric, you do make it to the trees, but at this point, Jer is almost in close range melee range. What is that? Encounter? Yeah,
Engaged.
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 That's it. He's almost in engaged range.
Illy taking off as well after him. How much strain do you think that caused under the conditions of her wound?
We'll call that an action, so 1.
All right.
So will Desert get to make an escape roll into the forest?
Yes, if you want to do another run. We'll call this kind of going around trees, going in places you don't think he can follow.
Oh, apparently I'm not that good at escaping.
And I don't know if he has that ability or not. I'd have to look at his cards.
I don't think so. I used a different talent tree for him. But I didn't spend any points. I just, well, you remember when I built him, I gave him like some bonus points at the beginning.
Yeah, he's got all pilot skills.
Yeah. I gave him 100 XP to try and level him a bit, but we have significantly more than 100 XP now.
Yeah, if you want to modify him to what you think he would be based on, all this.
We can do it another time.
Yeah.
Just, you're the GM, improvise. You can, whatever you think is best.
Alright, so I will give him that extra athletics roll just because of that. So, what did you roll?
1.2.
Okay. I'll give him that boost to his athletics after this little encounter. So, he's chasing you. You hear the footsteps. You kind of pick it up a little bit. You're not sure how, but he's now he's not gaining, but you're not losing him either. You're going through, you're darting through, and you find this one spot, and you actually somehow manage to slide right under this boulder that is blocking your way. Jer tries it, but he gets stuck for a little bit, and you just end up booking it past. By the time he gets out, you're pretty small in his line of sight, so we'll do one more roll.
I was going to say, can Illy try to...
Oh, yeah, by all means, roll.
All right. Nope, she's not. To advantage.
Yeah. Your wounds are catching up to you.
That roll, it's probably another strain too. Yeah, she's looking really exhausted.
I'm guessing Desric is still kind of broke from reality, or is reality returning to him yet?
Roll cool.
Cool is... Oh, well, maybe reality is coming back. 2.3.
Slowly, the visions begin to fade. And suddenly the view of being in a ship or in some type of facility is replaced by the forest around you. And you are very confused about why you're here and where you are.
So I guess I'm running, but I'm now slowing down.
Okay. You slow down quite a bit, and you're suddenly hearing footprints behind you. Like, dashing footprints. Full-out sprint.
Okay, I'm gonna look behind me, I guess.
You look behind you. Give me a second. And right as the footprints stop, and all you see is this Twi'lek in the air. And in that second, your adrenaline kicks back in, and he's just slowly coming in the air, basically flying through the air. Arms reached out to grapple you.
Can I duck?
No, because he succeeded.
Dang it.
It doesn't click quite yet just who this Twi'lek is. It's the fact that there seems to be a Twi'lek supermaning his way towards you. And reality just kicks back in. You're down on the ground and you have a Twi'lek on top of you, pinning you. Desric, what the hell? Snap out of it, whatever. Why are you running?
Get off me! Get off me! I won't go back!
Snap out of it. You're with friends.
Desric's gonna look around. Does he recognize where he is?
No, because you've never been here. You do realize you're on a planet.
Okay, so I'm definitely not back on the ship.
No. And because you're pinned,
He is
you
trying.
get a slap across the face.
Yeah, that
Are
probably
you
doesn't
out
help
of it?
much.
Look up, look at me.
Huh? Woo. Chair?
Yeah? We were just talking not too long ago. You were put in a medical facility to check you out. Then you screamed bloody murder and took off like a bat out of hell.
Oh, sorry, give me a minute.
Shirtless, by the way.
Desert's gonna look down.
Yeah, you need to work out more, man.
Where am I?
On Hidden Fortune. The smuggling planet.
And the ISD?
Probably still in orbit. But, as far as we can tell, there's no Imperial presence on the ground. Maybe a few scouting contingencies here and there, but beyond that, I don't know. But still not a good idea to be running around. Are you in your head now? Can we go back to the camp?
Desert's gonna kind of look up and down.
Is Illy still trying to chase them?
Yes.
Okay, at this point, you're catching up to him, kind of limping. You're breathing heavily.
I do believe if that is considered an action, then that's about as far as she's going to go. She basically catch sight of them. Very thankful that Desric has at least stopped running, but that's also going to cap out her strain.
Oh, you're passed out?
She is going to pass out in very short order, yes.
Well,
is he all right?
he stopped running. He seems to now realize that he's on a planet.
I want to make a memory check. I want Desric to try and remember what happened before he was knocked unconscious.
Before the Imperials knocked you unconscious?
Yeah, right before the Imperials knocked him unconscious.
What'd you roll?
$1.2.
There was flashes. You remember a speeder, a swoop, and you remember, not a swoop, but a skiff, sorry. You remember something hitting it and it dropping, and at some point you fell out, but that's about it.
Do I remember if the skiff was driving away from me or moving towards me at the time I was knocked unconscious?
You were unconscious before it moved.
Okay, never mind. That's not going to work then.
I didn't realize that's what you wanted to remember. Either way, you wouldn't remember it anyways. You failed the roll.
Yep, no worries. Okay, so Desric's just kind of looking around, bewildered. Illy, what happened to you?
I got shot. Please tell me you're not going to run anymore.
I think that depends on if Doc plans on stabbing me again.
I need you to not run anymore.
I didn't realize you were afraid of needles, Ezric.
Illy's
Desert-
basically hanging onto a tree for support at the moment.
Look, we need to get her back, and I can't carry the both of you. If I
I'm
have to, I'll
okay.
knock you out and drag you back.
Thanks, but I'll walk.
Yeah, you're gonna be in front, and I'm putting my blaster on stun. You run, you're getting hit. I'm not gonna chase you again.
Gee, I thought we were better friends than that, Jer.
We
You're the one
are. But if
the
you
one
keep
running.
running on this dangerous planet, you're gonna get killed. So consider it a bit of a mercy. At this point, he starts getting up and picks you up.
I assume he's picking Illy up?
No, she's against a tree. He's picking you up.
I said I was walking.
Yeah, but he still had you pinned.
Oh, gotcha. So Desric will get up and start walking over towards Illy.
Alright. Jer gets under one side of Illy. Those
Yeah,
your...
She starts to move away from the tree, and it's quite clear that ain't gonna work. So yeah, she's like her legs are done.
Jer puts one of your arm over him and starts trying to haul you in.
All right, yeah, she'll go with.
Eventually, you guys do make it back to camp. Everyone just kind of looking around, wondering what the hell's going on. You see Pith outside the tent. Desrec! What happened?
Desric kind of flinches as he sees Doc. You stabbed me.
I just took some blood. I needed to see if they had any chemicals in your body.
Trying to decide if Desric should make another check here. I think the answer is no. But he's kind of put off by the when Doc says he needed to take some blood. I think I've done enough bleeding for one day.
Well, this one's in the name of your health.
I don't care who it's in the name of.
If I have to get these rebels to hold you down, I will. Do it willingly, or we're gonna take it.
Desric is not at all thrilled or pleased with this announcement, but yeah, I don't know. Let's try this again, I guess. So Desric knows it's coming this time, so I assume he's going to have to make another cool check.
Yeah, at this point, you got rebels starting to surround you. You're gonna get a setback for this, though.
Beautiful.
Well. 3-2.
That's what I rolled. Or were you calling out what I rolled, or was you calling out what you rolled?
That was what you rolled.
Yes, 3-2.
So, you kind of just close your eyes for a bit. Your heart is pounding. The screams are there, but they're being pushed away. And you open them and you realize this has got to happen, regardless if you want it to or not.
Oh, yeah, Desric knew that already. I was rolling to see if he flipped out or if he went along with it.
That was the roll. You succeeded. That's
So
why
I
I
guess
said
he's-
you realize it's going to happen, whether you want it or not. You might as well.
Oh, okay. So Desric is going to cooperate as quietly as he can.
At this point, another rebel comes and helps Jer with Ileana. Pretty much sets her down on a bench. Okay, I'm no medic, but hopefully he's done with Desric soon. We need to get you in there.
Just as long as he's in better shape by the time he's done.
That little jog of it, that little escapade of his proved that he's in good shape. Oh. Either way, just hang tight. Desric, you're taken in, and you realize the rebels haven't left yet. Lay down on the table, Desric.
Desric does so.
At this point, there's each rebel, goes on the two sides of you. And before you really realize what's going on, they're strapping you down.
Oh, yeah, Desric is freaking out.
Alright, you're freaking out, but there's 4 of them, and they're all doing this. They manage to strap you in. For your own good, Desric. You probably damaged your arm there. You better hope that needle didn't break off into your veins.
Desric does not hear any of this. He is absolutely flipping out.
Yeah, you're hearing screams. Everyone's hearing screams from the tent again. When Twilight comes out and just waves, "It's fine."
Yeah, I don't think Ellie's going to be able to move at this point anyway, so yeah.
Jared looks over. Yeah, your duck's scary. I'm pretty sure he just talked my boys into strapping him down.
It can be quite persuasive.
Remind me not to get injured while he's around, please.
Don't worry, he'll fix you up good if you do.
Yeah, but then the psychological trauma's pretty bad.
In his case, we have the Empire to thank for that.
Okay, I'll give him that. At this point, you are aware that they're around your arm again. Pith does manage to pull out something from your arm. You did break the needle off, but it did not go into your blood, or your artery. And he sticks another needle in. I assume you're still thrashing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm also pretty certain at this point Desric's mind has completely lost the plot. He does not know. Like, being strapped down again, he can't tell where he is.
No, and I'm going to need you to roll a discipline.
Hold on, let me check my discipline roll. I'm pretty sure it's just the 2. Yep. Yeah, by the way, the bedside trauma here for someone who's endured psychological abuse and then like you're basically me remaking him live that torture. Good job, Pith.
You forced it. I mean, you did break the needle off. So you got a 3-1.
3.1.
So you managed to cancel out one of the threats, but I'm doing something else with your other threat. You're thrashing and thrashing and thrashing, and these memories are just coming right back into your mind over and over and over. The screaming, the pain, the laughter, actually. And no matter how you try to focus, there is still a shadow just hovering at the edge of your vision, seemingly blocking everything out. And then you pass out.
Okay, real quickly, before I pass out, do I recognize the laughter?
It does have some kind of familiarity.
Okay, so I also set my strain threshold to max for passing out.
Oh, you didn't have to. That was just for failing the discipline. By the way,
Okay.
have fun in your dreams.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Rose isn't alone now. Either way, the screams stop. Everyone hears them stop. At this point, the Twi'lek who was outside the door, just kind of waving, just kind of stops, turns his head and opens the shades. And something happens on the inside, and he turns around, and like, gives a thumbs up. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. And what's everyone outside doing?
I've actually gone out from wherever the food and stuff was, and I've actually decided to come out and see what the hell's going on.
It's all of it open, by the way.
Oh, so I've seen it all basically.
Yes, except for what's going on inside the medical tent.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna walk up close to the medical tent, basically.
And the Twi'lek in front just kind of holds up his hands, like, I know he's your friend, but Doc wants some privacy right now.
She just rolls her eyes and goes back.
All right, Illy and Leo.
Leo shut down. Ellie is sitting on the bench. So
That's right.
Leo hasn't got an idea of what's going on.
So yeah, Ellie is essentially waiting her turn, and after the run is barely conscious.
Well, it seems to last for a little bit. And then you see two Twi'leks come out carrying an unconscious Desric. After which, Pith comes out and says, Ilyana, it's your turn.
How
you
is
see
he?
Jared just look over. I don't envy you. I'll help you over there, though.
Thank you.
And he takes you right over to Pith.
What happened?
I don't know. As soon as I began to take blood from him, he freaked out and ran. The needle broke off in his arm. He's lucky it wasn't shoved into his veins.
Oh, well, all right. After what happened, maybe a needle wasn't the best choice.
Well, if they put any chemicals in his blood, I did need to know about it, so it needed to happen.
We need to find a way to help him when this is done.
I'm afraid I'm no psychologist. Either way, we need to get you in here and take a look.
Fair enough. And yeah, she'll she'll go in with Jair's help and
He'll lay you
Have
on
a
the
seat.
table.
Yeah.
And Joe will walk out. As he walks out, Pith steps outside for a second. The thing is closed, but you can still hear him, and he says to Twi'lek, "Stand guard. No one comes in, and if I catch you peeking, you're going to get some needles in you. Understood?" Yeah, I gotcha. Good. And he walks back in. Okay, Miss Ilyana, I need you to take as much clothes off as you're comfortable with.
All right. And yeah, she'll do so.
Not saying anything to that.
Yeah.
You got a boost on your sheet.
Yeah, just a reminder regarding the checks
Ah,
to
okay.
vigilance.
So you have that critical. La, la, la. So he throws some scanners on to check, how deep some of the wounds are, anything internal bad, and he's like, "How were you able to do anything? The pain you must be in."
I try to think about everything else.
Okay, I'm gonna give you something here for the pain real quick. And he injects you with a needle, but this one is a gentle injection, so it's nothing like before. And the pain numbs, but you still feel it here and there. Alright. I am going to be making a few intrusions here. I'll give you some local anesthesia. And I need you to be awake for some of it, as a lot of it is in sensitive areas. There is a piece of bone piercing a spot, and I need to get it out just right. So it's going to hurt, but I'm going to need you to bear with me, okay?
Do my best.
So he comes and grabs a few not needles, but a few utensils. And he does give you a shot of local anesthesia, and you don't feel them going in the tools, but you do feel it when he hits the bone. It's a very quick, sharp pain, but it's not a heavy, it's one like, oh, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Okay, that was the bone, but now I need to push it off of the organ it's on, and this is where
Can
I
we
need
not
you.
talk about that? Just do it.
Okay. It's hard to see, so let me know when you feel a twinge of pain. It's not the bone. And at this point, you do feel a cold sensation and metallic, and it does hurt quite a bit.
That's about it.
Okay, just bear with me. I'm grabbing the bone. You're able to hold it. It's not quite like when she was given birth, but it's still pretty bad. And he does manage to pull the bone out. Slowly lets it go, and a lot of the pain and a lot of the pressure is gone almost immediately. It's much easier to breathe now. He ends up setting the bone, and he begins cleaning the area, not with Bacta this time. There is some slight stinging from what he's using, but he gives a slight insertion with another needle, a much larger needle, and it's definitely going to where the bone's at. Okay, this is forming an internal cast with some Bacta. He keeps going through. He's more like he's talking to himself rather than to you. And he says the bone is set, and it's going to take about a day for it to, solid up with the back in there. But he begins patching up many of your wounds, washing them off with a Bacta rag, and then putting patches on them. So, go ahead and remove all your wounds. And now let's see your strain. Well, that was a very crap roll for him. Anyway, you end up removing only 3 strain. This was pretty traumatizing. But, the crit's going to stay for a full 24 hours, but this condition is gone.
Sweet.
But you're obviously rather worn out, rather tired. He begins bandaging up. Like I said, he's got, high quality patches on the spots. And what is it? At this point, he states, "We're going to need to wash some of your clothes, probably. Unfortunately, they don't have a spare, so we're going to need to get something to wrap you up in soon. But for now, we're going to have to put you back in your own clothes. Okay?"
That's fine as long as I can get some rest.
"Oh, I'll make sure you get some rest." And at this point, you can stand. It still kind of stings, but you get dressed. As soon as you're dressed, he opens the curtain and says, "Take her someplace where she can get some rest." Yeah, okay. This way, ma'am."
Right. She follows along.
Alright. And he pretty much takes you to where Desert is, and he's out cold right now.
Okay, well, she will happily do her own impression of being out cold once she lays down.
Alright. At this point, Jer kind of comes up to Rose and is like, "Yeah, it's probably a good idea that we get some shut-eye. It's night. You don't want to be out here during the night with all the other people running around. This place is safe. If you guys are going to that guy who's got your artifact, best to do it in the morning. If you need help,
Just point me to a bed. I'm buggered.
as you wish." And he shows you the way.
Cool, yeah, he shows me, and I find an empty bed basically, and just lay down and rest because I definitely need it.
Alright. At this point, you all wake up. It's daytime. At some point,
May I
you wake up.
recommend we break
We are.
first?
Yes.
We are, but I want to kind of get this out of the way. You're waking up. It's daytime. I wouldn't say a full 8 hours of sleep, but a good amount. So go ahead and just reset your strength threshold. And at this point, we are breaking.
Okay, sounds good. One question. I don't think Desert's getting restful sleep, so...
Oh no, I'm going to send you something over Discord.
Ah, yes. Okay, so I was thinking my strain threshold may not be going down so much.
Half.
That only gets me down to my... Yeah, almost down to the threshold anyway, so... Okay.
Well, half of your max. Current level max.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, good. All right, and with that, I'll see you in a few.
Alright, back in 10. Zeke's back.
Okay, Lance is back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. When the session's over, I'm going to have to get another count as to our total earned experience by the end. Because for some reason, it didn't save the changes I made last time. And it's showing a very low number compared to where I believe we are.
I'm back. I'm just eating breakfast.
No worries.
I think we're waiting on Jonas and Overkill.
Testing.
Hello.
There we
Passed.
go. You could
Overkill's
not
back.
hear what I was saying.
Yay, we're all here.
I have acquired hot tea.
That's
Not
why.
hot teas.
Just no.
Java the Hut? I don't know.
Oh,
Nothing.
God.
It's coffee.
That would be coffee, which would be blasphemy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just got me my second cup. Okay, so we ready to start?
Yeah. Let me go check Discord. But yes, I think so.
Okay.
Lance is ready.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so this is pretty bad. I'm looking at this photo here. It says, "What would you like written on your grave?" And above it, it's like a blank tombstone. Below that, it's another one that says, "Respawning in 3, 2, 1. Connection error." That's pretty bad.
That's terrible.
I'd probably put something like that on my gravestone, just for the giggles. Hey, this is how you remember me.
For the lulls.
Yeah.
And sidetracked.
Okay. Alright, so, like I said, everyone, you start waking up. There's nothing to really shield out the sun. So, at least that starts waking you up.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, they all wake up first, I guess, and just open their eyes, sit up, groggy, but getting with it.
Okay, it's starting to storm outside, so if any connection drops, that's why.
Gotcha.
So Desric is stirring. He hasn't quite woken up yet, but he is absolutely drenched in sweat and doesn't look like he slept very restfully.
And Leo is completely fine on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty.
Ellie's gonna go over, check up on Desric.
Does she try to wake Desric up?
Not at the moment. Maybe just lay a hand on his shoulder, try and calm him down.
Yeah, actually, what is Desert doing right now?
I am trying to decide how he would react to this. If he hasn't been startled awake, he's probably still kind of tossing.
I imagine most of your body's kind of limp from what happened, but
Okay,
your
maybe not
eyes
tossing,
are-
more like jerking.
yeah,
Like he's like twitching.
yeah, and your eyes would probably be going crazy under your eyelids.
And yeah, he's drenched in sweat, like a cold sweat. And I guess, should I make a check to try and come to, or?
I'm trying to think what it would be if you do.
Discipline?
Yeah, I think discipline makes the most sense.
Okay. And all Illy's doing is just putting her hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, just basically trying to calm him down.
Boost?
No,
No. Okay.
you're asleep, so.
Well, soothing presence and all that.
Yeah, you're asleep. You don't know what it is.
Oh, that's not terrible. 3.1.
So, you know what you're dreaming of.
Yes. Oh, if I am successful, there's one thing I want to do before I wake up.
Okay.
So
You succeeded. I'm just trying to figure out how to do the threat.
okay. Before Desric wakes up, he's going to be muttering or speaking something very, very softly. So can Illy make a perception check to see if she can hear it because she's close?
Yes. Either way, for your threat, once you wake up, you jilt up and pretty much fall off whatever you're sleeping on.
Okay. Any extra strain?
No.
Gotcha.
Ellie is 1 success, 3 advantage for perception.
How lightly is Desric saying this?
It's moaned slash mumbled, but she's probably close enough that as long as it's a success, she could probably hear it.
Well, I was just determining how much difficulty. And what did Illy roll?
1.3.
All right, you got it.
Okay, so Illy's going to hear 3 names said over and over again very, very quietly. Those names are Jer, Illy, Sharon.
Okay.
And then when Desiree wakes up, he just launches himself off whatever he was sleeping on and onto the ground.
Yeah, that probably catches her a little off guard.
Yeah, it probably caught him a little off guard too.
Okay. Easy there. Are you all right?
Desiree's gonna look around at his surroundings. It's just a dream. Yeah, I think so. And Desiree's feeling around his leg and his shoulders.
Please tell me you're not going to start running again.
No, I think I'm okay. He's kind of reassuring himself that he's still in one piece.
All right. Seem to be having a bit of a bothersome dream.
Yeah, you could say that. Dream is a word for it. Not quite descriptive enough.
Roll your discipline.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about it?
To success. Do I want to talk about it?
All I have is 3 threat. You remember the dream. Everything.
And in the dream, do I remember all or any of the details that I had previously forgotten?
You do remember every part about the dream, and it does remind you remember everything that actually happened to you, except for that weird part. That'll stick with you wondering. But
Okay,
I'm gonna send the rest in the Discord. So
yeah,
hold
shoot
your
me the
tongue.
rest in Discord, and I will react
hold your
appropriately.
tongue.
Meanwhile, as the audience waits with bated breath.
Oh, what's going on?
And there's Leo. Roger. Okay. Well, no, I don't feel like talking about it, but I suppose I'm going to have to at some point. So, if it wasn't obvious, I was tortured by an Imperial officer. Yeah, it was pretty horrific. And by the way, Doc's bedside manner sucks.
She actually smirks at that. And perhaps. But yes.
So, when I woke up, I mean, from being stunned, not just now, but I was in, I think it was a holding chamber. I was strapped to this damn machine. And this person came in. He looked, well, at first I thought he was just an Imperial lieutenant, but the uniform was all wrong. He had a bunch of like pips or insignias around his rank pin that I've never seen before. Is Leo powered up to hear any of this?
I'm near. I am turned on, yes.
So, Desert's going to kind of look to Leo. They were like on his rank pin. I don't know if you've seen anything like that before.
It's possible, though I would assume if his ranking insignia has certain pips on it, it will probably indicate what he's assigned to do.
Yeah, I can tell you that part. Be a jackass.
Can you describe his uniform?
It was black, not regulation colors.
It also had red stripes coming down from the shoulders.
Is Desric?
Yeah, Desert says that. And then he kind of looks away from Leo again. He had a droid with him.
You do
Damn
remember
thing
the droid.
Damn thing injected me with what felt like liquid fire.
Describe the droid.
I don't know. It almost looked like a miniaturized probe droid. But it had an arm with needles. Needles that shot fire.
Fire.
Hold on, Des.
Well, that's what it felt like. Sorry, Desric's being a little colorful with his descriptions.
Color is not what I need. I need accurate information.
Yes, try to remember that Desric has just been through a lot of torture and is probably not being, the most sane and logical like droids like to be.
Leo is telling Desric that.
He's working on it, Leo. Just give him a bit.
Meanwhile, the GM is furiously typing.
But Leo is looking at Ileana and he's going, I wish I could be sympathetic. However, his descriptors are proving most difficult to decipher. I cannot give you accurate information if I do not have accurate descriptors.
Real quick, where's Rose?
I don't know. I was out taking my brother out.
Oh. Well,
I
where
guess
would
I'm up and about. I don't know. Probably finding Illy.
Yeah, both Illy and Desric were put in the same room, but pretty much private. Leo was set next to them. Rose, you were taken to some place off.
Cool. Well, I'll make my way there then.
Okay, so I guess I need to revise my previous description of the needles that shot fire to, how can I describe this? They enhanced pain and made it feel numb and fuzzy. Like, I could feel everything, but I couldn't. This isn't making much sense.
It's all right.
I would have to defer to Piff's judgment regarding that, since I imagine he has some intimate knowledge with that sort of chemical.
After that, he asked questions.
How did you answer?
How do you think? I lied my ass off. I tried to bluff my way out of it by saying I was working for a moth. The moth of my home sector, actually.
Are you quite sure you answered with a bluff?
For the parts I was conscious for. He didn't like my answers, didn't believe me.
If that is the case, then you probably answered as you believed you did.
And then started up the machine. I can't describe what happened there. It was blinding, searing pain. There was this thing that drilled, bored. It tore the flesh from my leg open and just drilled down to the bone. I could feel it vibrating against me.
At this point, Rose arrives, just kind of standing at the door.
I just remember after that screaming in shadow. It was dark, maybe? I don't know. Next thing I remember, I came to. I'd been patched up, sort of. Not a good job. They patched me up again later, but I woke up in a conference room. I was thirsty and hungry. And that's when the captain walked in.
More of the same for questions, I'd imagine.
Not at first. He almost acted like it was a mistake. He apologized, but it wasn't sincere. It was more like he was laying down the ground rules. Whether he bought my bluff or not, I don't know, but apparently he claims to have contacted the moth. And the moth vouched for me. But even then, he had the authority to override whatever it was the moth had me doing. He didn't even seem to care that I was bluffing. He was damn set on getting the artifact back, though. He made that very clear. If I don't return the artifact to him, well, he didn't say exactly what he'd do, but implied that my parents would bear the punishment for my failure. And given the treatment I had just been put through, I can hazard a guess as to what that punishment will look like.
And I would say it's important to get them to safety as soon as possible.
Yeah, I've got to talk to Warwick.
First, I still have more questions.
You and all your damn questions. What else?
The droid that performed on you, its shape, was it ball shaped, or was it more like a form of aquatic creature in the respect that it had a disc shaped head with legs?
The
Zeke,
picture,
I don't remember.
the picture on the picture of the token of the guy who's torturing you. It had the droid on there. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think it looked very much like
Looked like
a
a
probe
ball.
droid, a mini probe droid.
It looked like a ball, like a giant black ball,
Like the vibe.
Okay.
with a needle coming out the side. Basically,
Oh,
A New Hope, probing Leia.
yeah, it's the torch droid from. Yeah, okay. That's more what I was trying to make a difference of, whether it was. Okay.
Yes, but Desric would know what a torture droid is.
Quite sure Leo does.
He's probably seen them in passing, yeah, when they've been dealing with Underworld stuff.
Oh, just dealing with Imperials. Pretty sure you've seen that.
Yeah.
Considering your position. So, yeah, we'll go with you do know what it is.
Seems as standard. The lieutenant that was ordering the droid about, was he accompanied by stormtroopers? Or any sort of security detail?
Let's be careful how I answer that. No. At least, yeah, not the Desric knows of.
I'm sending you the chat.
So you did. So the only personnel that you saw in that room was the lieutenant, the droid, and the machine that operated on you.
Stand by. Yes, it was just the droid. Ah, sorry, I can't say this with a straight face. Yes, just the droid and the lieutenant.
Then the plaque on his insignia, the pips. How many were there?
I'm guessing I need to make a roll.
No, you remember, but I personally do not know the number of pips, so we'll just go with you describe it as best to your knowledge.
Can I get any information based on the amount of stuff?
Say what?
Can I get any information based on the amount of pips, or
You know that it's a lieutenant, but you'll have to make a roll for the rest.
I could do that.
So, for purposes of RP, Desric describes it in as much detail as he can remember, and whatever those details were, Leo must now make a roll.
Well, yeah, he's not gonna. He'll calculate the results after the conversation and then see what he can bring up. Your memory faded out and you were revived in the conference room. Where did you go from the conference room?
They sent me to the VIP quarters. Well, I think to the med station first. They
Quarters
properly
first, then med station.
uh, VIP quarters cleaned up, and then I was sent back to the med station where they fixed me up properly.
Who accompanied you there?
A single stormtrooper, I think. After I met with the captain, it was like I was back to being the Imperial hero. They didn't really seem to care. Oh, no, that's not true. They did care where I went. I think they tried to walk me around the ship to confuse me, or maybe just to keep me out of certain parts.
Identify the stormtrooper. Was he just a normal stormtrooper, or was there something unique about his uniform?
I'd have to ask Zeke. I don't recall us describing anything special about the stormtroopers.
The one you were escorted by was normal, but you saw no other stormtroopers.
Just a standard Imperial trooper. The rest were just Imperial Navy. In fact, I don't remember seeing any other troopers.
You saw no other stormtroopers beyond the one that accompanied you.
Yeah. And the captain didn't have a detail with him. Desric thinking that that's strange now. The ship was pretty bare too. I mean, I've been on a few ISDs. There's always tons of like regalia and accomplishments posted all over the crew area, or even just like the VIP area. There was nothing. I don't even remember if the ship had a name.
Interesting. So they were likely operating with a skeleton crew with reduced security. Security staff, I should say.
Either that or they felt I didn't warrant it. Oh, this probably bears mentioning. The captain claimed that he was working under direct orders from the Emperor. I kind of thought he was bluffing. No, I'm not so sure. Has anyone even seen the Emperor in a decade?
Certainly not that I recall.
So, was there anything unique about the captain's uniform? Stand to reason that if the lieutenant's uniform was different, perhaps his would be too.
No, his was Imperial Navy issue, although very highly decorated.
Was he armed?
No.
Though I doubt he would have considered you a threat at the time. Might have been...
I was lucky to be able to stand. And they confiscated all my weapons. They didn't return that till I got to my quarters.
It was more depending on his weapon, we might have been able to identify him easier. Certain captains do favor other weapons over others.
Yeah, he didn't strike me as someone to wave around a pistol. If he wanted something done, he just said it and it was done.
Of course.
And right now he's hanging overhead, waiting on word from you about this artifact.
How did you leave the ship?
By Lambda shuttle.
When you were leaving through the hangar, what did you see inside the hangar itself? Was it just the Lambda shuttle?
I will have to defer to our GM.
Trying to think of how to describe it.
Yeah, I don't think we discussed that part.
Vehicle-wise, yes, only the Lambda was in there. As for the hangar, it was a small hangar. You assume a private for, you know, anyone special coming in. Or maybe the captain himself leaving. But again, quite bare.
It wasn't the main hangar. It was a private hangar. Probably where the captain keeps his shuttle. But I don't remember seeing any other ships there.
Interesting. So we have a captain working under the authority of the Emperor, claimed. A lieutenant with a unique uniform and pips on his rank plaque. A single stormtrooper with generic stormtrooper outfit and a Star Destroyer that seems to be working with a very limited crew.
Desert kind of thinks back. Yeah, I guess I wasn't really focused on it at the time.
That last part does confuse me. Why would somebody as highly decorated and highly trusted operate a ship in such condition?
Likely to reduce the amount of eyes on whatever he was doing.
Secrecy makes sense. Look, whatever that damn thing is, it's dangerous. Dangerous enough for a captain to tell him off to piss off? I don't know. But I certainly don't like the idea of them getting a hold of it.
Yeah,
I
neither
don't
do
think it's
I.
a captain.
What was that, Rose?
I don't think he's a captain. I think he's just lied to you. A captain would have a proper security detail, at least, even if it was a few stormtroopers. And yet he doesn't, and he was able to inflict so much pain.
Have you experienced torture droids before?
No, and I don't
I
plan
don't
to.
recommend it.
How familiar are you with Imperials?
Who was that
Me,
directed
not
at?
That was the Rose.
a little bit. Assassin-wise,
Any rebels?
rebels, no.
Oh, good. As for the captain, I don't know what your friend here has thought of, but it could also just be blind confidence. Or something all completely other. Either way, if he was telling the truth, he has enough power to tell him off to piss off. I don't like it. And this artifact, if he's wanting it that bad, I don't want him to have it. I'd like the rebellion to have it, if it's that powerful.
Speaking of your people,
We talking the rebellion or the Twi'leks?
the rebellion,
Complicated there, but they're helping, so I'll help them. What about them?
they likely have a database ranging from almost every known Imperial personnel. I would suggest that we feed this information to them, then we can identify him.
Sounds good. I take it you got a copy of the whole conversation. I only came at the end.
I have every piece of undoctored information that Desiree provided me.
Alright. If I can get you to go with, before you guys leave, go with my comms guy, That would be great. Now, about this artifact. You said the guy who has it wants an audience with you?
That may be what's happening.
Do we still have the note to show him?
Yeah, Ellie has it.
Yeah, because I'm not going to remember everything that was said in it.
She'll show the note.
He reads it over. Okay. Vague. Pompous. Full of himself. Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, that's about my feeling on him as well.
Okay, so what is this whole thing? Password to the comms is what you first thought of me? He's really throwing things like that around.
Pretty much.
Have we tried unlocking that yet?
No, but I'm going to go with thief.
Definitely thief.
Well, you guys got the comm code for him. I can't throw it in.
It might not lead anywhere, but it is our best option under the circumstances. I can't think of any other way to get us back on the trail.
How many parties are after this damn thing?
Too many.
I would like an exact number if possible.
Well, let's
3.
Imperials, these guys, and who's the third?
The exchange, possibly a fourth. We don't know who Jade's contact was.
Every time we turn the corner, I mean, her contact could have been a setup, but every time I turn around, there seems to be somebody new interested in it.
And if we're including you and the rebellion, that makes 5.
Our interest in it is purely the fact that the Empire's interested in it.
You wanted a complete list.
Yeah. Regardless, I'm gonna have to give him everything I know about this thing. So.
Well, at the end of the day, I understand that all of us have our own vested interest in it as well.
Except me.
Almost all of us.
Are you just along for the ride, Leo?
More or less.
Good luck. Keep him safe for me.
I would say I have been doing so far, but they keep getting injured.
Either way, how do you want to play this? I'm kind of low on men, as you could understand, so you've got me for the time being.
Well, I don't think there's enough of us for an ambush.
Nonsense. We just need to provide the right ambush.
I think if we can avoid a conflict, that would be best. But we do need to get the artifact if they do have it. Why would they talk to us unless they wanted to trade for some reason? And if they don't, then I have no idea why they're talking to us unless they think we know where it is.
Well, that could be a thing. I mean, you said they were after it before, and they're saying they have it. Either they're lying their ass off about that, or maybe there's something else they want that just wasn't there.
Desert once again looks to Rose.
So is Leo.
Okay. That's not subtle. And I think it has something to do with what she does not want to tell me. Or what any of you don't want to tell me. What's going on? The more I know, the more I can help.
Rose, now would be a good time.
To
If you do not explain, I will.
All right. I'll put my hand out and I just want to pick up the dude.
Oh, this is going to go great. While we're in the middle of a...
Roll.
Gosh, I don't even know what to call this. Oh, yeah, this is going to go great.
Rose is not subtle.
Yeah, and she's going to get us all
See why-
shot.
I got what I needed.
So he
Nice.
begins to float upwards, and now he's struggling. Okay, I know you can lift things. I just want to know how.
I've just still got him up, and I'm like, do you know a thing called the Force? All sassy about it.
Yeah, it was an ancient religion.
Yeah, ancient my ass, and I just drop him from about like 2 meters up.
Yeah, Leo is going to be like, the definition of ancient is quite ludicrous.
He lands, and he actually lands quite gracefully. Okay, when I say ancient religion, I mean it's been around for a while. It became outlawed after the Empire went. I know it had something to do with, the Old Republic. But beyond that, they say it had all kinds of abilities. I thought it was just like nonsense, fairy tale nonsense. Now you're lifting me up with it. Okay.
Leo is going, it's surprising at how easily something is forgotten within one generation of biologicals.
Okay. Yeah, the Empire's been doing its damnedest to wipe out a lot of knowledge.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Wait, Leo, when did you become an expert on this?
Unless Piff is older than I believe he is, I am the one that was living during that time.
And you never thought to mention this before?
Yeah, that would have been nice.
It was not quite necessary.
Leo has
Well,
a
it's
point.
necessary now.
I mean, it wasn't necessary for me to tell you about my power, and then I saved you when you fell off a cliff, Desric.
Which I said thank you for.
Great, now
And
I owe
then
you.
you... Wait, what?
You hear Jarrah say, great, now I owe her.
Rose
Yeah,
smirks.
maybe not so much. She's also tried to kill me repeatedly.
I mean, not kill. Kill's a strong word.
Maim, then?
Okay,
We'll
I
do
take
that
back the
another
drink.
time.
Either way, if you're not willing to, be part of the rebellion, we could damn sure make use of your powers, and they would be willing to pay. So think about that. We'd rather have you on our side than the Imperials.
You have a point, and I don't think the Empire's willing to pay me for my stuff.
Anyway, Desric, did the Empire say anything about your partners? Did they mention us? I gotta know.
Not you, not the droid. They made offers of clemency for Ileana. Rose, they were a bit more vague about.
Well, what'd they say?
All the captain said was only the Empire can offer her what she truly wants.
It tempts me to just go to the Empire and ask. But, that won't end so well. For them, at least.
So the question is, what exactly do you want?
How well did they seem to know the rest of you?
Well, obviously they know me pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a public figure. Illy? He knew her name. He knew about her daughter. Other than that, he said she was just a mechanic, that naming her the terrorist was a mistake.
They would know that that they'd have her details regarding her capture, quote unquote
Oh.
capture on Taris before, we kind of slit the officer's throat.
Yeah, none of that got transmitted though.
Yeah,
Sure.
one of our operatives says that didn't get transmitted.
That reminds me, Desric,
Desric is starting to feel like 20 questions and being pulled in 20 different directions, but he will answer. Yeah,
Did
Leo?
the captain mention the new Volkers by any chance?
New Volkers. You mean that gang they wiped out?
Ahem.
Gang that we wiped out.
That was all us.
Yeah, definitely an Imperial move. Thanks, by the way. They were causing all kinds of trouble.
I don't remember if he mentioned them, Zeke. I want to say no.
What?
I don't think the captain mentioned them, but I don't
No.
remember.
The only thing he mentioned was you and Ilian Rose.
No, just the three of us. No mention of the rebellion, the droid, or any of the people we ran into on Terrace. No mention of Doge either.
My question is, how does he know you, Ilian Rose so well? Did you tell them?
I didn't mention Illy at all. When he asked if I knew what the terrorist looked like, I started to describe Rose. Desert kind of hangs his head in shame when he says that.
You what?
Do
Look,
not
I'm
get-
sorry. I had to guess.
Do not be too aggressive. He was likely drugged.
Yeah, that's what Pith said.
I have a feeling that even you, Rose, would have a hard time not opening your mouth to the Empire.
You guys need to go talk to Pith before you leave, because he says some of the drugs were weird. Either way, how did he know that the two of them were with you?
We were likely caught on holocam at some point.
More than once, I wager. We weren't
Our operative said
as
he
subtle.
scrambled a lot of them. You've already met him. He's pretty much got your back for a while. You remember the one I paid to deliver a message?
Wait, hold on. I'm very confused by this train of thought. What did he say?
He's saying that the
The
Twi'lek from
operative
before-
there, an operative there was, sabotaging a lot of Imperial stuff to kind of keep you guys off the charts.
Oh, okay.
And he says, you remember him, he's
Yeah.
the one who sent the message from me.
What
Oh,
about,
the one I stunned.
what about the ship that you were on when you first arrived at Terrace?
I was a non-terrorist.
No, he's
No, the
looking at
three of
Desiree.
us.
Yeah.
We were on. Our names would have been on the manifest. We took public transit to Terrace.
Okay. That was shut down and a lot of the manifests were corrupted.
The black box, however, might have survived.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. There was no black box.
Why was there not a black box on a public vessel?
There was a black box on the public vessel. They had it when it left its final destination, but it was not there when the Imperials got there.
I can't even begin with the amount of regulation that would have broken.
Here's the thing. It was there throughout its entire trip, but wasn't there on Terrace, so they're thinking someone took it. Whether they took it at the last stop or during the crash. They thought you had it.
Now, if you three did not have the black box, the only other people that were there were the Imperials, correct?
Yeah, but like I said, they don't have it.
Desric
They had no idea
is-
who was on that transport.
Desric is face palming really hard right now, and all of a sudden has made a realization. The lizard. The Trandoshan.
What Trandoshan?
What?
The one that you killed.
When we came to, there was a Trandoshan picking through the rubble. He tried to turn us into the Empire. I panicked and killed him.
You killed someone in cold blood.
Not exactly. I was trying to get him out of his ship.
Why didn't you just stun him?
Yeah, I had just been in a car crash, in a shuttle crash. I forgot to set it to stun.
Okay. Let's get past that for now. What does that have to do with the black box? If he's no longer with us, where would the black box be?
He had a ship. He was collecting scrap from the rubble.
Not
Yeah,
only that,
Go ahead.
he did have allies on world.
Okay, but the Imperials searched the truck. They knew it was there. There was no black box there either.
He might have had a secure compartment in the truck that may have been accessed by the other Trandoshan later.
But why would that Trandoshan hide it? He could have got money from the Empire for it.
And that is possibly how they now know about Rose and Miss Eliana.
As far as I know, that black box is still missing. I mean, they may have it or not. They may have it and not be stating it, but don't know.
Imagine if they're desperate enough to immediately search a crashed shuttle, they're probably desperate enough to hide a black box from the Empire. If it has information like that, it could prove more useful spread around.
Either way, as far as anyone could tell, the Empire doesn't know about him. So this either means they're lying their ass off, or they found out about him another way. Either way, what are we gonna do about this artifact? How are we getting it back?
My suggestion would be to trap the blue individual and interrogate
Mira's,
him.
that's not gonna be easy.
Why not?
Well, if maybe Rose can explain it better, I think he's like her.
I do not enjoy being in the air.
No, it's different. He had, what did you say, Rose? Many faces?
What?
The first time we encountered him, he used the Force to, in some ways, misdirect or, what would you say, trick me, and see everything. It was weird. Regardless, he has what I have, just in a different format, I'd say.
Well, how dangerous does that make him in comparison?
Given what he did to Jade, I'm going to say very. Plus, he said he wasn't alone.
Well, neither are we.
Yeah.
He still wants to meet with us, right?
Yes, and I suspect he especially wants to meet with you, Rose.
So why not just send me?
Are you really willing to go alone to this man?
He wants to talk to us. And he wants, in some ways, me. So we'll give it to him. And if you want, we can ambush him. Just use me as the bait, as much as I don't like that.
I think he'll be suspicious if it's just you. Definitely Jer, but if too many of the rest of us are missing, he'll wonder if it's a trap.
That sounds like you've just volunteered.
Yeah, he seemed willing to talk to me.
And you seem very interested in myself.
Yeah, I think the two of us at least have to go, Rose.
I suggest
with
that
that.
the rest of us keep within a certain amount of range.
Like, close enough to blast his ass?
Correct. And before we start, I do suggest stun.
Naturally.
A very powerful stun.
I don't think my sword does stun.
You can bludgeon him with like the handle.
You can throw him
That
up
makes
in the
sense
air
in
and
some
knock
way.
his head.
You got a point.
If he has
All
the
right.
same abilities as her, how does that going to work when they clash?
Probably not good for anyone.
And I just volunteered to be standing next to her when it happens. Perfect.
So, Desric
Rose
and
gives a
Rose.
nice smile to you, Desric.
Rose and Desric going to be the bait. The rest of us going to be sharpshooters.
Well,
Well,
you will be sharpshooters. I will do something else.
why don't you go with them, Leo?
My combat skills are lacking.
Exactly. You be with Desric and Rose, maybe be the calm head, the logical head. Maybe we can keep the guy talking.
Though, whilst I do agree with the sentiment, he did not like me last time we spoke.
That is
You
true.
strike me as someone who's direct, so that was probably it. Diplomatic, maybe?
Yeah,
I was not programmed for diplomacy.
as you might imagine, Jer, I tend to be the talker of the group.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't ask the right questions.
Yeah, thanks for that, pal.
Hey, we need information, so hard as it may be, we gotta accept it. That's why I was wanting Leo to go. If you can, try to be a little subtle to get the information we need, then you can go all direct on him.
My speciality is information, so I would agree to that. Though
Fine. The three of us and Illy and Jer on Overwatch.
Okay, Illy, can you shoot a blaster rifle?
I can. More comfortable with a pistol, to be honest.
Oh, I've just had a brilliant idea.
What's up?
Perhaps we can get Piff to work up some sort of knockout serum.
Well,
Possibly.
I was gonna send you guys over to him anyways. He, like I said, he found some weird stuff in your blood, Des.
Great. As if this hasn't been strange enough.
Either way, you going to talk to Pith first before we contact him?
That's probably best.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Alright, he's up. He's running. He's about in his little med bay. He does not like anybody going in there, honestly. Well, unless they absolutely need to for, medical reasons. But anything else? Yeah, can we get him gone? His needles are creepy.
Yeah, we're going to have a pretty strong word about yesterday. Desert just kind of swallows hard.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, but I also kind of have to agree with him. You took off. You had a piece of metal sticking out of one of your veins in your arm. You could have bled to death, or the needle could have gone in your veins and really screw you up. And after what he found, you might want to thank him, because it sounds like it's crazy.
Leo is looking at Desric. What in the stars did you do?
I don't actually remember.
He screamed bloody murder and ran out of the medical tent with no shirt into the forest. We almost lost him.
Well, I believe that without the shirt, at the very least.
What do you mean by that?
The incident at the bar is all I'm going to say.
Oh, I remember those days.
Illy snickers.
I hate that droid.
Oh, I'm liking this droid. Leo, we can need to talk some more.
Desric is now walking out and leaving.
Then it's decided.
Yep. Illy will follow along.
All right. You start making your way over to Pith's tent, and you do hear some motion in there.
Hey, Doc.
Desric? Come in. We need to talk. We need to gather everyone. Except for the rebels. This just contains you and your group.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, good.
You
Go
don't
on in.
have it. You're not going to stab me again, are you?
Maybe? I'm kidding. Get in here.
Your humor sucks.
Well, after what you pulled last night, you deserve it. Now get in here. You really need to see this.
Desric is cursing under his breath. But goes in.
Everybody else follow?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry I don't have much seats. I only had very minor room, but he holds up a monitor. This was Desric's blood work. The normal... Everything that's supposed to be in his body is completely normal, but I am detecting trace chemical compounds. Desric... How much injections did they give you? Do you remember that at least?
I don't know if Desric does remember that.
You remember the initial one, and then later on, you remember, you would think 3, because those are the 3 spots where you felt fire.
So 4 total?
Yes.
4, I think. But it gets really hazy after the last 3.
Okay, those were most likely this compound here, and he says in one, I'm not even going to try to create one, this is crazy. Then he begins to explain, this one is used to create a lot of pain, but disappears quickly. It leaves a minor residue. Okay. Then there's this one that's really odd. It's not something you would use for torture or information at all. Do you remember any of them that wasn't like liquid fire going into your veins?
The first one, it was like fog, haze. It made everything go fuzzy, but made everything hurt more too.
Okay. The first part does match what this chemical can do, but the second part, no. And that's the weird part. What they injected you with just makes it hard to think. It would make it harder for you to remember anything.
Why would they want to do that?
What?
Interrogation.
That's what I don't understand. It's the exact opposite. It makes it to where your mind can't focus. Or if it does, it's just not for very long. I mean, it brings up all kinds of things into your head, but you can't focus on them to make sense of them.
Question.
Yes?
If they were trying to find information through another means, and Desric was going to try and stop them from doing so, mentally speaking, as if I would protect some of my files, would this make it easier for them to access?
Well, if you look at it in the mechanical spectrum, yes, it would be like scrambling the information behind the firewall and having it like behind a glass wall if the firewall's glass, and go bounce, sit up against the glass for a second, then go away? Be like fragments. But there's no way to do that to a person.
Not scientifically speaking, no.
Scientifically, what other way could there be?
Rose,
Yes.
Okay. I don't think our miniature tractor beam would help with that.
oh, I cut out for a second, sorry.
Oh, what were you saying?
I didn't hear anything after I said Rose.
Oh, he said,
I said yes.
And then Doc said something about he doesn't think the miniature tractor beam would work.
He says, I am not the expert in the specifics of your abilities. That would be on you.
She has more than the miniature tractor beam. That's still science, though.
Illy's just not saying anything.
Why is everyone looking at me so weirdly?
Oh, Desric's not looking at Doc, he's looking at Rose.
You have an odd naivete about you, Dr. Piff.
I look
He
at
is
things in
quite.
science?
As
I
a
don't-
mechanical being, I would agree with you. However, I have witnessed things that is beyond the spectrum of my comprehension.
I have not.
I
Well,
mean,
actually,
yes,
you have.
but you're, yeah.
I'm
Doc, there's
lost.
no tractor beam.
Okay, then how did I float through the air?
The wonderful powers of magic. That's what Rose does, and she like wiggles her fingers at Pith.
Rose,
His
stop
eyes just
being
kinda
an
narrow.
ass.
Just tell him, for God's sake.
I was having so much fun. Pith, do you know what the Force is?
He kind of stops for a second.
The ancient religion, quote unquote.
So
Yes.
yes,
Yes,
Desric,
I am.
So you're a Jedi.
Wait, what's that?
Wait, who? Desric or me?
You, Rose.
Somewhat. We'll put it at that.
Somewhat.
What's a Jedi?
Allow me.
By all means.
By all means.
A Jedi was a class of warriors that were religiously motivated towards the Force.
So they were monks?
More than that, actually.
They-
The Jedi were peaceful people, but they were also peacekeepers.
They served in the Clone Wars as generals.
Or advanced commandos at times. They had
Indeed.
an energy sword that could deflect blaster bolts and cut through just about anything.
Yes, I know about that.
They called it a
Desert
lightsaber.
does not know.
So why aren't there any of these guys around?
They're
Because
dead.
of the Empire.
Leo, how much do you know?
I'm pretty sure the Empire's never talked about them.
Exactly. That's the
According-
point.
According to actual record, they were branded as traitors following the Outer Rim sieges.
At the end of the Clone War, they supposedly tried to overthrow the Republic and assassinate the Chancellor.
That was before he was the Emperor.
Yes. Not
Yes.
long after that, the Empire was formed, he became Emperor, and the Jedi were banished as traitors. They
And
were
now they
hunted
hunt us.
down and then all records were destroyed.
Which brings me on to how I know about them.
I am quite curious as well. I didn't realize you were that old, Leo.
I was around for a number of decades before the rise of the Empire. However, I was on the Outer Rim beyond the reach of the Jedi. My knowledge of the Jedi comes from well, it's quite amusing to think about now, but a musical play that a traveling theatre group portrayed during the rise of the Empire.
Oh, that was not a smart idea.
I have not heard of them since.
I'm not surprised. The Empire is destroying all knowledge of that, including people. Which is the reason why well, pretended not to understand what Rose's ability was.
Pretended?
I've met the Jedi when I was a kid. I was on a trip to Coruscant. My father worked with them. He was a medic as well.
Okay. Look, fine. We need to deal with this situation now, all right? We deal with Blue Man Group here and get our artifact back.
If the rest are like you, they could have more knowledge of this power. They may very well be stronger.
That's why I plan to go.
You're going to join them?
I don't plan to, but if they can provide me with some sort of, knowledge that can help improve myself, then I'll take that and move on.
Desert kind of sits up uncomfortably at this.
I don't plan on joining him.
True, but you're also quite far from what a Jedi's philosophy is.
In fact,
Shame.
I believe you said peace is a lie.
What's that got to do with it?
The Jedi were peacekeepers.
So what? She's some kind of anti-Jedi?
I cannot say for certain. I just know that from what I know about the Jedi and what Piff has said, that is not one of their tenements.
I suggest we move on, gentlemen and lady.
I think I meant... Is that the right word?
What?
Tenement? No, that doesn't sound right.
Tenant?
Tenant.
No, there we go. Yes. So, with that in mind, Piff, do we need to ask the question again?
Which question? Sorry.
The question regarding the invasion of Desric's mind.
That's not something I can answer. If they can do it, it's possible, but the Jedi never did. At least not to my knowledge. Remember, I was just a child.
Working on the assumption that they can, that would give us certain pieces of information. And here's a look. Is Jay with us?
No.
Yes. He's looking at Desric. That would fall in line with what Jay said.
What did Jer
But
say?
I told you there was no one else. Just the lieutenant, the captain, and the stormtrooper.
Perhaps one of those was the individual that we were talking about.
Well, if we're talking that they can go into your mind and read thoughts, what's to say they can't alter them?
Your perception could have been altered. That much is true.
Desert does not like this thought and kind of shudders at it.
Either way, I've told you what I found. So if what Leo suggested is true, Desert, they would probably know everything that happened after Terrace. And all the way up to where you were picked up, so they probably would even know about the camp here.
Assuming
You're
that
saying I talked? I didn't talk.
If they can go into your mind, you can't stop them. It's less talking and more like slicing into a computer that's trying to stop you. If someone's good enough, they can go right in. There was no
And
willingness
the Empire
to it.
is good.
Which means that we do need to get in contact with Warwick as soon as possible. If they accessed all of the information from Terrace, who knows what else they acted upon.
Desric is scared shitless. He doesn't even know what to say.
But if that was possible, and they know about what we did on Terrace, and who knows what else, why is Desric here and not in a brig?
Bait.
I guess that's true. What did the Empire even want when they sent him down here? Did they know? Or did they
The
tell him?
artifact.
Wait, that thing that y'all picked from Terrace.
Which probably
Yeah.
means they're watching very closely. We go, they spring whatever trap they've got in mind.
I scanned Desric like crazy and did a few other probes on him. There is nothing in him that they can track or hear or anything.
There's
All
a Star
Desert heard was
Destroyer.
probes.
There's a Star Destroyer in orbit. Believe me, they're watching.
Well, in some locations, they're going to have a hard time finding us due to the ore.
Well, for the moment, let's assume there's someone aboard that ship who has the same sort of gift as Rose.
Okay, if it was the same one from Terrace, then that's even scarier.
If she can sense the artifact, what if they can too?
I have no idea. How are we getting the artifact back? Do I need to go?
No.
I think it's best if you stay here.
But we might need some help.
What is it?
Yeah.
Well, if this other person we're meeting does have the same gifts as Rose, I imagine they're quite a powerful combatant. They certainly made a mess of Jade. Some sort of powerful, I don't know, sleeping agent?
Well, besides my tranquilizer needle shots, the only thing I really had was what I gave you on Terrace, the gas grenades.
Tranks will do. We just need to get close enough to inject him.
Well, you can do that, unless you're good at throwing. These are modified for throwing. And he kind of hands you a, not a bandolier, but kind of like something you can just wear, and it's got like a few syringes on them, like 5. And yes, they are modified for gripping and throwing.
Ellie has kind of a mix of amusement and confusion as to why he would have these.
And he's holding them out, and just kind of like, who's going to take them?
Either Rose or I would suggest Rose or Desert take them.
Well, Desric isn't about to be stabbed by needles again, so he's going to opt for being the one holding the needles.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll take them.
Do you think
And
I
he
could coat these things on my blade, Pith?
Like, yeah.
It's a vibro sword. You're still going to kill them.
Yes, but that would be a direct application of the tranquilizer.
Except for the vibrations of the sword would throw it off.
Just stick with throwing them for now. We also have to assume he's not going to be alone.
Very true.
Pith, I mean this. And I show him the vamp blade basically.
Oh. could actually replace the blade with the injection system with tranquilizer temporarily. So long as you don't swing it like an actual blade and just jab him with it, that should work.
I mean, if I'm going to slice something, it's going to be with the sword.
Okay, so yes to the modification?
We'll try it. And I start unhooking the vamp blade off and
It'll take
throw it to
me...
Pith.
He catches it. It'll take me about 10-15 minutes, maybe? Mechanic work isn't my best suit, but specializing in syringes I'm pretty good at.
Miss Ileana,
Yes?
you are adept at mechanics.
I can certainly take a look.
That would definitely speed things up.
Well, while you two play with that, I guess I'll give our blue friend a comms call.
Yes, I'd like to be there when you do it as well.
And whilst you do that, I will go and inquire with Jer. He might have some equipment that we can borrow permanently.
All right.
All right.
Desric smiles at Leo's definition of borrow.
Illy, go ahead and roll your mechanics with 2 boosts.
Okay, 1, 2,
4, 4.
3, success. 4.
All right, with the green one's
That?
part of it?
No.
Okay, so yeah, it should be 4-4.
Oh, there's 4. Okay, I got you. Yep, 4, 4. I can math.
So we'll do this real quick, then we'll hop over to the Manger. Basically, what happens is he has you play with the thing to take out the what is that? The spring loaded for the blade, and then modify it for the like a syringe. All that to get it working, and he's over there making the syringe and the sleeping agents, and then you quickly put it back in. It takes 5 minutes, like half the time, and it's ready. But we're gonna switch over to everyone going out to talk to Chair.
Very good.
Alright, so once Jer gets into sight, Leo is going to walk up to him.
Oh, Leo, what do you need?
Smoke grenades.
Smoke grenades. I may have a few. Anything else while I'm looking?
Possibly. I don't know what you have. Though smoke grenades was the most important, given we will be outnumbered to some degree.
Yeah.
If they can't see us, they can't shoot us. Well, they have less chances of hitting us, I should say.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go grab them, and I'll grab anything I think we might need that I have. Okay?
Oh, possibly a hover stretcher, if you want one.
Now that I don't have.
Never mind. It was just going to make it easier for us to extract the man.
Well, you have Rose and that floaty force thing.
True, but she may be preoccupied.
Well, that just means I'll cover her while she does that. The faster she gets
Fair enough.
him where he needs to go, the faster she can get back to whatever she'll be occupied with. Alright, I'm off.
All right. In the meantime, Desric, shall we communicate with this many-faced alien?
Yeah, I guess we'll give it a go. Rose, you ready?
Yes.
So, what's the comm frequency again, Leo?
Is bringing it up.
And Desric will enter Thief as the code.
You send the transmission. You get a signal back. It goes to your data pad. It is a map with a location on it. You recognize it.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
I don't have anything to put on this as a marker, but it's basically right here.
Sorry, could
Oh,
you
wow.
ping again, please?
I'll drop something there.
Okay. Okay. Wait, Desert recognizes it?
He has a map.
Oh, okay. So
He recognizes where
it
the
from
location's at.
Okay. I was thinking that he's been there before, and I was like, wait, what?
I don't think I've been over there before.
It would be funny as hell if that was where you'd sent the Imperials.
It's actually not far off.
It's not. I remember because I said it was here
Yeah.
is where I set the Imperial. I remember because it was on the tippy top of the lake.
The little peninsula there.
Well, it is 9 o'clock.
Would it?
Yep. And is anybody watching the stream? Because it looks like OBS is saying the stream has some chop to it.
I don't have the stream up, but I can certainly go look.
It's giving me the buffering. I can refresh and see whether that's.
Yeah.
Well,
I
everyone's
know-
ping just shot up. So.
Your ping to me hasn't changed much, Zeke, so...
Okay, I refreshed and it seems fine.
Really? Because
Oh.
it's saying KB per second is 0. Now it's
Oh,
1361.
No, it's gone.
Yeah, I'm having some serious chop.
Yeah, I think we may need to call it. And I know we started late, but this is a reasonable stopping point.
Yeah. So hopefully this gets transferred and everyone can watch it, going back, and it's just fine. But I do apologize for the lateness. I do apologize for the stream acting up now. That part, I believe, is just my net going, hey, screw you. But I was actually hoping we would all get to the scene where everyone's going right now in this episode, but yeah. I mean, if everyone wants to do an offline recording, we can, but that's up to you guys. But either way, I'm ending the stream. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and tune in next Wednesday for episode 4 or 5. I'll have to say, I don't even know anymore. We went to season 2. Anyway, later
Episode
everybody.
4.
This was episode 20.
Well, season
Yeah,
2.
but this is season 2.